conversations.
All right, you guys, welcome to the 420 Canada Zimizoom Mindwealth Jimmy's 11th birthday party. I love you guys. We're starting with YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel so I can eventually go YouTube live from anywhere in the world on my smartphone. Thank you to YouTube for letting me broadcast all this crazy shit the last few months. It's been awesome. Thanks to everybody who sponsored, and I want to especially thank my new official sponsor for all my automotive stuff, James White, the auto service manager at Canadian Tire, Crappy Tire, Canadian Tire, we love you. Coast to coast, and he gave me a free oil change and free 45-point inspection on the Zimizoom Tornado Storm Chaser truck. Thank you so much, James White and Canadian Tire, for your kind official sponsor. And I would also like to thank BOARDOM, Snow Skate Style in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, and their brand new shop in Edmonton, which I haven't checked out yet. It's a family-run business. They've offered me a job, which is super amazing. He said he will definitely endorse the team, and he might want to be an official sponsor of our shows. So I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, so thank you very, very much. Before I forget and do anything else today, BOARDOM, the best snow skate style shops in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the brand new store right on in Edmonton. We've got the dad running the Edmonton show and the mom and the daughter running, the dad running the Lloydminster shop and the wife and daughter running the Edmonton shop. So I can't wait to see the Edmonton store and go back to BOARDOM, where I got all my shoes, I got all kinds of stuff for my tornado kicks this year, and we are loving it. He offered me a job within like 2 minutes. I was like, brother, maybe that would be awesome. I've actually never worked in a snowboard, skateboard style shop. I thought about opening my own, but man, the job offers lately in Alberta, Saskatchewan are just off the charts, you guys. If you need work,
speaking with the leaders of
come to Alberta, Saskatchewan. The rent is cheap, the real estate's cheap. All right, YouTube, that was my intro. Now I'm going to get the Instagrams and Facebooks up. Facebook's my most interactive channel so far for the live, and then Insta is growing, and we're getting live hits, live friends tuning in almost daily now. All the new music in the last few months has been on Instagram. 2 new folk albums, or at least one.
Not just the evacuation of America.
Stay tuned for another episode soon of the Lady Legends of Canadian Music. I'm getting a wonderful message from my new massage therapist in Toronto and Edmonton. I was able to get a nighttime massage.
Want to leave Afghanistan. This is an enormous logistical, diplomatic, security, humanitarian undertaking. There is no other country in the world who could pull something like this off, bar none. So that's what I say to the second question. With respect to whether or not President Biden is likely to speak with the leadership of the Taliban, that is not in contemplation at this time. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jade. I'm done. And let me just do a top on just another topic, and then we'll take plenty of questions. Okay. Today, a group on another topic, a group of over 70 leading economists led by former CEA Chair Austin Goolsbee announced in an open letter their support for both pillars of the president's economic agenda, the bipartisan infrastructure deal and the Build Back Better plan. Their letter reinforces the case we've been making to the American people that these historic investments are vital for the strength of our economy and the financial well-being of middle-class families. Writing, quote, "These once-in-a-generation opportunities will create millions of jobs, lower costs for American families, and lead to significant economic growth. Both the bipartisan infrastructure deal and Build Back Better agenda could likely ease inflationary pressures." Just one other note for all of you. Vice President Harris is currently, as you know, in Singapore. Her next step will be Vietnam. This trip is an important for the Biden-Harris administration. It's about strengthening and deepening our partnerships with Singapore, Vietnam, and Southeast Asia, because these partnerships matter to the people, prosperity, and security of the United States. I'd also note that her meetings in Singapore today resulted in several substantive deliverables across a range of key issues and reaffirmed the strong U.S. commitment to Southeast Asia and the U.S.-Singapore strategic partnership. Following their bilateral meeting, they announced agreements on COVID-19 and preparing for the next pandemic, climate change, inclusive growth and innovation, and resilient supply chains. Obviously, her trip will continue. Amr, go ahead.
What is your message to modern House Democrats who want to vote on the bipartisan infrastructure deal before they'll vote on the $3.5 billion budget blueprint? And why not just do the bipartisan deal first?
Well, first, I would first say that the president has every intention of signing each of these pieces of legislation into law. And what I want to be clear with you all about is he supports Speaker Pelosi's proposed path forward to get this process done. I'd also note, and you follow this all closely, but for those of you watching at home, this is a procedural vote, important one, but there are a number of different ways forward here. And this is a debate currently, and a healthy one, an important one, within the Democratic caucus on what different parts of the president's core agenda should be passed in what order. In some ways, that's a high-class problem to be debating. That's what they're discussing. And it's not one that should be unexpected, given there are disagreements about a range of issues, even within the Democratic caucus. That's democracy. But I would note that the president's view is not just 36 years in the Senate, but this isn't his first rodeo, not even his first rodeo this summer. He had one in June and July, and we're going to work closely with Speaker Pelosi. He's going to continue to talk to a range of members. I would note for all of you that the president had multiple calls with Speaker Pelosi in recent days, and also had a call with her leadership team and 15 committee chairs about how vital the Build Back Better agenda is, because it will lower prescription drug costs, reduce the cost of housing and education, strengthen care for veterans, take on climate change, help families afford child care and care for older Americans. So we will continue to be fully engaged, but we understand this is a healthy debate, and we're confident about the path forward.
Able to reach out to some of the moderate lawmakers who have raised concerns.
We have been, from the White House and senior team, in touch with a range of officials and members across all political backgrounds in our caucus, so you can be confident in that.
Today's vaccine news. Is there any expectation that this is going to move the ball and get people who've been resistant off the sideline? And how significant?
Well, it's a really good question, Amr. I think we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, there have been polls several weeks ago, or the last ones I have seen, that have showed that of the percentage of people who are not yet vaccinated, about a third approximately, depending on the poll, would feel more confident. If there was final approval by the FDA, we'll see. You saw the president speak to this today. You will see him speak to this more, and you will see senior members of our team speak to this more, because we want to seize this moment and take advantage of course, this FDA independent approval to reach out to Americans who were waiting for that moment to let them know. But I don't know that we have a prediction of how many. Hopefully it will have an impact on those who have expressed concern. Go ahead. Sure.
Are you expecting any specific agreements to come out of this?
This is really a forum, as you know, Steve, to continue the discussion that these leaders had just a few months ago when the president was on his first trip. We certainly know, and many have talked about their desire to raise questions about the timeline. That's not a surprise, and the president is happy to have that discussion. I'm not, of course, going to get ahead of our national security advisor or the president of the United States, but it's an opportunity to discuss not only our commitment to getting American citizens out, and our Afghan partners who have fought alongside us and many of our allies over the last 20 years, but also to work with them to continue to get their citizens out as well. So expect the discussion will be around that, but I don't know that I'm going to predict big announcements out of it.
Imposing sanctions on the Taliban.
All right.
Look, I don't think I have more to preview. I think there's a range of topics that G7 members could certainly raise. I know the president likely touched on this yesterday, but right now our focus day in and day out is on the operations and evacuating and relocating as many people out of the country as we possibly can. Go ahead.
Back to what's going on the Hill. This is the president's first rodeo. Is he considered offering something to the moderates? Is there something that he's willing to put on the table that perhaps would assuage some of their concerns, knowing how legislation force trading on some capital?
He certainly is familiar with that, but he also is certainly familiar with the leadership of Speaker Pelosi and her ability to get things done. And I would also note that he has been a part of this town and watched healthy disagreements about a range of issues within his own party for many decades. That's a part of the process. But our
Healthy
focus right now is
disagreements.
engaging with a
You're
range of
fucking
members
awesome, lady.
from a high-level
I
staff
love her.
level.
She's so
We're going to
cool.
continue to do that, and the president will certainly engage if it is constructive in moving the ball forward. And we, again, are focused on getting this done for the American people.
I love you. You're fucking cool as hell, girl.
Potentially a number of
She's
ways
so
forward
cool.
on this, but the speaker has a way forward, you guys back that way forward. And if you're counting votes, that seems like the way forward.
Lex Friedman, he's brilliant.
Well,
Oh, Gemma.
and I was clear, and I appreciate your question, that the president supports the speaker's proposed path forward. What I was trying to get at, and perhaps not articulately enough, is that this is a procedural vote to move the bill forward, and the president's committed to signing each into law, and he's confident in Speaker Pelosi's approach and process, and will stay closely aligned. Go ahead, Jen.
We heard about all the refugees arriving in the U.S. from Afghanistan are being COVID tested. Is the administration working on a plan to get them vaccinated?
So that is correct. They are being tested, and we are working through offering vaccines and what that process will look like. I hope to have more of an update on that for you in the next day or two.
And one more on COVID. Will the White House convince more businesses to require vaccines now that Pfizer vaccine has been approved by the FDA?
Will we require, or will we push them?
Will you push them to businesses and require certain businesses to, or push them to businesses?
Sure. No, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding your question. We have already started doing that over the last several weeks, and I think you've seen the president speak to this. You've seen a number of senior officials be more forward-leaning, I should say, about the role the private sector can play in mandating vaccines or taking steps with their own workforces. That is always going to be decisions for them to make. But some may assess, and some private sector companies have spoken out about how final approval of the vaccine may help them take that additional step. So we are here, and we are here to be a resource as they have questions, but certainly we're hopeful this will help put in place additional measures around the country. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. There are Taliban fighters right now carrying American weapons. They're wearing American fatigues, the full kit of gear. How is that advancing America's national security interests?
Well, Peter, I think my colleague Jake Sullivan spoke to a version of this last week, but let me tell you, let me reiterate some of what he said. When the president made this decision to bring our men and women home from Afghanistan who were serving, he knew he made that decision not lightly. He made the decision with a clear assessment from his national security team about what the impacts could be. We have taken steps over the past few months to retrograde materials, to bring materials home, to make them not available to the Taliban. We have taken those steps from our military. But our choices at hand, the president's choices at hand, were either to equip the Afghan National Security Forces with the materials and the equipment and the weapons they needed to fight, or not. He made the decision to equip them with the weapons to fight. And we will continue to take steps to retrograde our materials and equipment.
But does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not of leaving Afghanistan, it's the way that he has ordered it to happen by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded? Does he have a sense of that?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. We are committed to bringing Americans who want to come home. We are in touch with them via phone, via text, via email, via any way that we can possibly reach Americans to get them home if they want to return home.
There are no Americans stranded is the White House's official position on what's happening in Afghanistan right
I'm just calling you out for saying that we are stranding Americans in Afghanistan when we have been very clear that we are not leaving Americans who want to return home. We are going to bring them home. And I think that's important for the American public to hear and understand.
Okay, and then following up on what somebody asked, Jake, the president likes to say America is back, but his policies have Americans getting beat up by the Taliban and Afghans handing babies over barbed wire fences. Is that what he meant when he said America is back?
What the president meant is that we are going to continue to lead in the world, including being the leaders in evacuating not just our Afghan partners, not just American citizens, but now also our allies. And we have done that by evacuating approximately 42,000 people over the last month. That is Americans leading. That is our men and women in our military leading on the ground, securing the airport after the Afghans fled and didn't secure the airport, and ensuring that we are taking care of our partners as we promised to. Go ahead.
More broadly, the president was asked about polling. I'm going to ask you about
Sure.
it
Would you acknowledge this has been a particularly challenging period for the president? There have been questions about his decision-making among some Americans, reflected in some of the polls.
Well, I would say that, as the president said yesterday, but let me try to answer your question again. His focus right now is on taking the steps and making the decisions that he feels are in the interest of our national security and the American people. And that may mean that there are chaotic scenes. That may mean that there are people disapproving of his decisions. He understands that and accepts that. But he also believes, if you look at the work of his team, and I know this question was asked earlier, that the test of competence and of leadership is not about how you operate on your best day. It's about how you operate when the chips are down, when things are difficult, when you need to adapt and make decisions. And that's what we've seen over the last week. That's what we've seen the men and women in the military do. That's what we've seen our national security team do. Just over a week ago, we didn't have control over the airport. Now we've evacuated 37,000 people. That is American leadership, and that is certainly competence of his team. But certainly we understand that people are seeing chaotic photos, but he continues to believe that this was a decision that only the commander-in-chief is able to make, and one he had to make for our own long-term national security interests.
Knowing there's about a week or so until the deadline, do you anticipate that the risk to American troops, American citizens, and Afghans will increase? Will there be
You mean on the ground, Kelly?
Will there be more a desperation knowing that the number of flights out may be dwindling? And if so, how do you adjust for that in terms of your preparation?
Well, I would say that security on the ground is risky and volatile, and we are not naive about that. We are very clear-eyed about that. And that certainly is a factor as the president is considering the August 31st question and the timeline. It is also a factor of the fact that we have expedited over the last 24 to 48 hours our flights and the number of people we've been able to evacuate. And his objective is continuing to focus each day, asking detailed questions about how many more people we can get out each day, because that is a real issue. And that's one of the reasons, and Jake talked about this a little bit earlier, that we continue to adjust and take operational steps as it relates to the perimeter of the airport and as it relates to how we're engaging with American citizens and our Afghan partners about how and when they should come to the airport as well. Go ahead.
Jake mentioned that you'd be able to get us a breakdown of the number of people who are being evacuated who are Americans, the number who are Afghans, but that's something that reporters have been asking for and not getting for several days. Do you have those numbers? And if not, when could we expect to see them?
I certainly understand the question. I know that my colleague John Kirby said a few thousand Americans have been evacuated earlier today. As Jake noted, the vast majority have been Afghans, given this size of the population that we're moving out. And I'm happy to also follow up after the briefing and see what information we can achieve. Go ahead.
One of the things that Jake Sullivan said in his opening remarks was that the president's going to be working with veterans. The SID applicants are integrated into American society. And vets and both vets, a number of other groups, they gave an open letter today, urging a meeting with the president. In that letter, they said that if the Afghan allies are not safely evacuated, it would condemn veterans and survivors of the conflict to a lifetime of moral injury. One, does the president agree with that sentiment? And two, will the president meet with these veterans?
Let me first say that we've been in regular contact with a wide range of veterans groups on Afghanistan, and will continue to be. And we're in touch with the organizers of this letter to arrange a meeting with senior White House officials to discuss this letter. The VA is also working with VSOs and outside advocates on how to assist SID applicants, which I know is a primary concern to a number of these groups, as it is to us. And the president, as you know, has the utmost respect for people who have served, as being a father himself of someone who had served. And he knows how determined veterans of our military conflict in Afghanistan are to make sure that the Afghan allies who risk their lives to help our troops are evacuated to safety. I would also note that one of the things the president has noted to many of us over the past couple of days is that as he thought about making this decision, one of the moments or several moments that has stuck with him is that many of you who covered him as vice president know this, but he spent every Christmas day at Walter Reed sitting with Gold Star families and sitting with men and women who had been injured in Afghanistan. Those are veterans too. Those families are families of veterans. Some of those families lost people, and he was not going to send another generation to fight a war that the Afghans were not willing to fight themselves. But I will tell you, we have been in touch. We will continue to be in touch. And I can assure you that the president will look for opportunities to discuss and engage with veterans groups soon.
Can I ask you
question about the FDA's action today.
Sure.
It brings to mind a question that you've been asked several times in this room, and that is, why hasn't the president nominated an FDA commissioner? Is there a specific holdup that you can point to right now that explains why there's not a qualified doctor in the country that the president can nominate for this position?
I can assure you, I wish I had a nominee for the FDA commissioner standing behind that door so that I could present them to all of you. And it is a very good question. And the president wants to nominate the right person to serve in this important post. And yes, of course, there are a range of qualified and talented medical experts and doctors out there. We've not identified the right person yet, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. Go ahead.
In keeping with the question of appointments, you'll forgive me for putting on the different path. Decision of whether
Federal Reserve.
You got it.
I knew it. It's like bingo.
Yeah, has he made a decision on whether to reappoint Jay Powell? My colleague Celia Mosen reported this weekend. The Secretary Yellen has privately expressed her support for reappointing Chairman Powell. Has he made a decision? When will he make a decision?
I don't have anything for you on this. I don't have a timeline when you make a decision.
Secretary Yellen's apparent preference.
I will leave that to Secretary Yellen and the Treasury team. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Do you have any updates? This week is supposed to be the end of the 90-day review into the origins of the coronavirus. Do you have any updates on when that report will be released? What can we expect to see publicly?
Sure. It's actually tomorrow. Just mark your calendars. I know Peter's especially excited about it. I would say that it typically takes a couple of days, if not longer, to put together an unclassified version to present publicly. And obviously the president would be briefed first on any findings. So I don't have an exact date for you, but I would expect it will be a couple to several days after tomorrow. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Two questions. Just on vaccines to clarify an earlier point. The president talked today about he encouraged companies to step up their vaccine requirements. But will today's announcement lead to any new or any additional vaccine mandates from the administration beyond nursing home employees and the stuff that you guys have already?
I expect there will be more, sure, as we've said all along. And I would note that my colleagues at the Department of Defense conveyed that they would move in the coming days to mandate the vaccine now that the approval has come from the FDA for Pfizer. So we certainly expect there will be more mandates for factions of federal employees.
And then on Afghanistan, a broader question. Does the president see any substantive differences between the Taliban leadership that exists right now and the regime that existed 2 decades ago?
I don't think we're in a position to make any assessment on that front at this point in time. I would just reiterate, this is not about trust. This is not about providing validity for anyone. Our focus right now is on working to get American citizens, our Afghan partners, working with our allies to get them out of the country. Part of that has been a discussion and ongoing discussions with the Taliban about individuals moving safely to the airport. That's what the focus of our engagement with them has been at this point. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, thanks. Just following up on the COVID-19 origins report, is that going to be released in full, or could there be redactions following the process you were talking about on classified documents? Just talk about that, and what is the process in which the administration is going to release this? Are you going to, is it just going to come out in an email, or is there some way you're going to do this?
I would expect that there would be an unclassified version, and sometimes that means declassification. I can't assess that at this point in time because tomorrow is 90 days, not last week. And then we certainly would make you all aware of what the outcome is. I don't know what format that will take at this point in time yet. It's a good question. Go ahead, Karen.
Follow up on the question that was just asked. When the president said today that he's calling on companies to require the vaccine, he said, do what I did last month. To just get more specific, will he expand that federal employee vaccine requirement and actually mandate it so there's no more option of opting out and doing the testing every week?
For all federal employees, I think you're looking more at agency to agency or different factions of the government at this point, but expect there will be more on that front.
Does the administration now see this as an opportunity to refresh the public messaging campaign that you guys have been doing on vaccinations now that there's a full FDA approval?
Yeah, Karen, I mean, it's a really good question. I think what we don't know how to assess is obviously there has been a percentage of people in some of your polls as well who have said, I'm waiting for the vaccine to get final approval, and it's not approved yet. We're sort of going to test that proposition and see. And we are hopeful that there are a number of those people who have said that who will now go out and get vaccinated. And certainly communicating directly with people who are not yet vaccinated is always a priority, but this is a moment to redouble our efforts to do exactly that. Go ahead.
So, the President said today, talking more about safety reopening schools. Is there any changes to the administration's guidance we should be expecting coming forward? When do we expect to hear from them on that?
I would say soon. I think we're still working to finalize what that might look like, but the president is certainly, as a parent and a grandparent himself, well aware, and as somebody who employs a number of us who have children, well aware of the understandable questions that parents have. Some have anxieties, and he wants to be able to speak directly to what his preparations are, how we rely on the science, and all of the steps we've taken through our Department of Education to make sure schools have the resources they need to open and stay open if they apply them this school year. But I don't have a scheduling preview for you at this point in time, but I expect you'll hear from him soon.
Personal learning is still a priority,
Yes,
president expects to be open 5 days a week.
Correct. Nothing has changed in that regard. Now, I will say this. A lot has changed over the last 8 months in that we have provided tens of millions of dollars out to schools, out to states, that has been distributed to many school districts who didn't have the resources they needed to replace air conditioning systems or ventilation, to do social distancing in some cases, to ensure they had testing requirements. That has changed. The Secretary of Education has made this one of his top, if not his top priorities, sharing best practices, working directly with school districts. As we have seen across the country in some particular states, we cannot force these states to allow school districts to put in these precautions that will help keep students safe. If they don't put in place the precautions, it's more likely there will be cases, and then they will have to take steps regarding quarantining, etc. But we have done taken every step we can think of to engage, to empower, to equip school districts with the resources they have so that they can so they can stay open 5 days a week. Go ahead.
Jen, what's your reaction to former President Trump this week in
it's right there.
Alabama asking your supporters to get vaccinated and then getting flu?
Well, one, we will take anyone who has a big platform out there who wants to encourage people to get vaccinated, doing it. That's a good thing, and we understand that some of the people who are not yet vaccinated are not people who may have Biden-Harris stickers on their cars, and that's okay. In terms of, I think it's just a recognition, as we are very clear-eyed about, that there are still people who are skeptical out there in the country, that there are still people who, whether because of misinformation or a range of factors, are not yet getting vaccinated, even though it could save their lives. It means we still have more work to do, and we are committed to doing exactly that. Go ahead.
And thank you. At the risk of this being a yes or no answer, is the president concerned about being put on the spot with these pledges to get Americans out of Afghanistan by the 31st? All those who want to get out of Afghanistan. Is he concerned about being put on the spot with this?
By whom?
By just the general public opinion or whatever, with these pledges from him, from Jake and others, but doesn't it put the president on the spot a little bit?
The president believes it's the responsibility of any president and the United States to convey to any American that if they want to come home, we're going to find a way to bring you home. And that commitment does not end on the 31st. But he is absolutely focused every single day, and I've been in a lot of these meetings on ensuring we are expediting our processing, we are thinking creatively, we are adjusting operations as needed to get more Americans to the airport and out of Kabul. Go ahead. I'll go to you next. So we'll go a little bit of Andrew and then I'll go to you next, okay?
Yes, and Jake mentioned that the U.S. had tried to extract Americans who are outside of Kabul and other parts of the country. Does that apply also to Afghan SIV applicants who are also in that same situation, trapped in rural areas? They can't make their way to Kabul because the Taliban is controlling the roads.
I don't have anything operational I can preview for you on that front. I can tell you that our commitment to our Afghan partners has not wavered. And we are going to do everything we can to contact them directly, which is exactly what we're also doing, to figure out the best way for them to safely get to the airport. But I don't have anything more operationally to preview for you.
Well, last time you briefed, you were asked about the number of SIV-approved Afghans who chose to stay in the country before the latest sort of chaos that we've seen. You said you might get back to us with an overall figure. Have you been able to do that?
It's really a number, and I understand that your question. It's really a number the State Department has, and it's not. It's not a program that we administer from here. I'm happy to follow up on that, as well as Nancy's question and Kelly's question about the numbers.
Instead of publicly, why can't you come up with a number if you're in the city?
Again, it's a program that's administered by the State Department, and the details of that are something that's under their purview. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jane. First of all, it was a nice discussion. Actually, not nice, very tragic. I'm from Afghanistan. Everybody know. I don't have anything to say. Everybody know that. Thousands of people, 14,000 people around of the airport, outside the airport. No food, no shelter. I know. Every single time I get like 20, 30 phone call, contact, everybody's crying, especially women, men. I know it's difficult for the United States to, just as a woman, as a kind woman, that Afghan people really trust you. They love you so much, and their expectation that the United States never leave them alone. But it happened. It happened. Just what's your message? Do you have any message, positive message? Because women under a lot of emotionally bad situation. I need your message to them.
First, let me say that watching these scenes is incredibly heartbreaking and tragic. And, I've been to Afghanistan a number of times, and I've met a lot of these women you're talking about. The president has been there a number of times, has met these incredibly brave and courageous women. And I will tell you that I'm sure that part of the conversation the president will have with his partners and will continue to have with the United Nations is how we can continue to provide assistance, continue to stand up for these women and the rights of Afghanistan. So I don't want them to
Insta, happy Earth Day to me. It's my 71st birthday. I love you guys. Let's get stoned. Let's make some music. It's the fourth wave, and I love you guys so much. Thank you. I've already said thank you to my sponsors on YouTube, but I'll say it again now for Insta and for Facebook. My first official tour sponsor, I'd like to thank James White, the auto service manager at Crappy Tire. Fucking no, it's amazing tire. Canadian Tire in Cranbrook, British Columbia, close to Moyi Lake, where I just spent a week getting kite surfing lessons, longboarding, writing new songs, and sending love letters to my wonderful lady that I've been dating. We're going through a bit of rough times the last couple of days, but I'd like to thank her. She's so wonderful. Her nickname, I'll only give you her nickname. Her nickname's Chloe. I love her with all my heart. And, don't know how things are going to go here, but I just want to thank her for the last 3 months, saving my life, helping me to see my daughter, and everything like that. Chloe, you are a goddess. I consider you my queen, and I love you so much. And I would also like to thank BOARDOM, Skate, Snow, and Style shops in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the brand new shop, Edmonton, Alberta. They offered me a job. They said they might officially sponsor the tour, and he's happy to endorse the tour for now. And I bought all kinds of discount shoes, fucking deadly stuff. He's got brands going out of style and shit, all kinds of deals. I shop there for my ex-tornado cakes, for all kinds of stuff. So thank you very much, you guys. So go and support Canadian Tire, especially in Cranbrook, BC. And thank you again to BOARDOM, Snow, Skate, and Style shops in Lloydminster, Sask, Alberta, and Edmonton, Alberta. Thank you so much, you guys, for the endorsement and sponsoring the snowboard ski terrain park. I believe you said it was at Snow Valley in Edmonton, so I can't wait to go this year and see your big wooden BOARDOM signs sponsoring the park all year round. I just love it. So Red V Sports is the new ladies and girls charity snowboard, skateboard, and ski and rollerblade and sports team. Extreme Sports, because Red Bull doesn't show enough women, so this is Red Vulva Sports, Red V Sports, Red Vortex Sports, Red Virginia, whatever you want to call it. Red V Sports.
And I know a lot of parents in Florida, Texas, and other states around the country are confronting that. And
I missed it last summer, but tornado cakes jumped an 80-foot cliff. I got her fucking rip-sticking two-wheel skateboards in freaking Roslyn. Boom.
Kept whole financially.
That's how the freaking team
there
was
are restrictions put in place.
I'm gonna have a little bit of that fucking whiskey that my friends left here, man. There's only a couple shots, but man, what's happening?
Couple of months. We will continue to encourage that. In terms of consequences, I don't think I have anything to preview for you on that front. Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry I got to run. We'll see you tomorrow.
got my Nancy bong.
All right, you've been listening to White House.
God bless you, Nancy, wherever you are. I got my Nancy bong. I got a little bit of this fucking JD from the party, the housewarming party the other night.
15,000 people have been evacuated from
Thanks to Chloe and all her fucking awesome friends for warming up my house. How was the sleepover? Well, barely anybody slept. I think only one of the 7 of us slept. So I'm glad she got sleep for the crew. Where's my coffee at? Thank you for tuning in to my birthday party. I love you guys.
Infrastructure agenda, the bipartisan.
Time for some diamonds. These are fucking awesome. Everybody's like, have you tried the diamonds yet? Have you tried the diamonds yet? Fuck, I'm trying the diamonds and they are amazing. THCA. I've barely ever had THCA. It's hard to describe, but it's very invigorating and wakes you up. And it's this different type of clarity in your brain of CBD. It reminds me of CBD in a lot of ways. But it's totally different. It does not put you to sleep, though. So, hey, Wyatt Preto, how are you? Thanks for tuning into my birthday show. We're going to have some freaking THCA diamonds right now. Beautiful piece I got from Vermilion Vape Shop. Wicked little vape shop here in Brazilians. So, yeah, look at that. It's kind of like caviar, but it's dry. Where's the camera? Dry, crystalline cannabis, but it's THCA. I'm really not sure even how they do this. I'll have to look up the process later, how you extract THCA. But I tell you, everybody was right. It feels different. It is fucking so nice. It does not put you to sleep if you're tired and worn out. Like medical, this is definitely a medical grade type product. You have to do some more research on it.
Done all the
Figure out
things
how
that
they
I
make it.
dreamt of.
When I hear the music, it's an addiction for me. I wanted to forget about
Coke time. Coke some jokes.
Oh my God.
Thanks for tuning in over the years. I lost my first account because I got naked on it too much. But this account's still alive, even though I got naked even more. Went to real jail, but not even Facebook jail. What the fuck? Facebook's cool.
That was the most painful.
You can get naked on Facebook all you like. So nuts.
Thinking, I can't live like this.
Oh, this toke is going to be awesome. I just got to make sure to heat this up all the way. It's a big fucking toke. Thank you, Wyatt, for a toe. Where are you tuning in from, brother? Much love to you and your family. Peace on earth. Happy birthday to you, whatever that is.
Not ready for.
Oh, this is going to be a good toke, you guys. YouTube, you ready for this? Insta, you ready for this? Facebook, you ready for this? I got live viewers on Facebook right now, so I got somebody to watch this toke. I need supervision for this toke, okay? I will not be operating a vehicle after this, but I totally would love to. Okay.
With all my heart. Something big is coming.
What was that?
More Kiakuro.
This looks like it was done by a 5-year-old.
I'm your opposite politician. When they say I didn't inhale, I say the opposite. I say I didn't exhale. Oh, fuck, that's good. But I need to use the bigger torch. So now let's burn it. It's like pooling in there.
Be able to take off and land.
Oh yeah, this is some good fucking chronic. It's pretty cheap too.
Regarding the incident outside the North Gate.
It doesn't even make sense for me to order off the online shops anymore. The local store here just changed the value buds. It is so fucking cheap.
Fire caused the injuries of the Afghans. Can you confirm that?
I cannot, but seeing similar reports, I think it's really important, Wafa, that we let the people on the ground
There it is.
get their best estimate and idea of what happened. Do the forensic here at the Pentagon. Dynamic situation, serious threat environment. They have the right to defend themselves. They were under threat and they reacted accordingly.
Oh man, I want to have a party tonight. I wonder who wants to hang out.
Right now, certainly in such a short span of time after the event.
Holy fuck, that was awesome.
It is my understanding, and I'll caveat this with all reports coming out originally, usually
Almost puked.
completely accurate. But it's my
Oh man, that was the toke I should have done that last night. That's exactly the toke I was looking for last night.
One night of forces during this incident. How did you
Bong hits were almost cutting it. Holy shit, THCA, that is like totally different. It does a lot in your brain. Holy moly. It's like reorganizing your thoughts. Reorganizing your presumptions about the world. It's like reorganizing my brain. They say that CBD is non-psychoactive, but you guys are all dumb as hell. It is. It's just mildly psychoactive. In a different way. Excuse me, CBD works a lot like my antipsychotic olanzapine.
I think you understand. I want to be a little careful here.
And
I would just say,
when the recreational market says CBD is non-psychoactive, they're actually lying to you guys.
Appropriate to the need.
It is. It's mildly psychoactive, and it allows the nervous system to slow down. It allows the brain processes to slow down. It allows your thoughts, emotions, feelings, angers, addictions, fucking your what do they call that? Your pet peeve. The CBD takes all of that and reorganizes the brain structure. Okay, I've done a lot of LSD in my life, so you can literally visualize this stuff as it's happening in your bodies. Just like the Buddhists and the Tibetans and stuff. Like you can slow down. You can appear to be dead for days and you're still alive, right? Women can actually control their ovaries and learn how to not ovulate. One of the ways that women can have lives that are over 100 years is you learn how to naturally not ovulate. And I was reminded of that on one of the healing sexual sacred videos I did on Facebook 2-3 months ago. When we switched it from porno over to sexual healing and ladies, women's sexual healing, sexual empowerment videos. Mother Mary Magdalene, the sacred prostitute, the sacred whore, the whole shifting of sexuality from the fucking closet, basically. You still want to be proper in life, but we are all fucking... Oh, nice. My buddy's in Quebec City. That's where he's at. He's heading up snow school at Le Massif. I've always wanted to go to Le Massif. Clovis, my fucking coach for a few years, man. Head coach of the team. I got fucking initiated into the modern snowboard Canada culture. I'm offered a spot as a rookie for level 1. I'd love to get back with Canada Snowboard this year if I can, and run my first, competition intro level 1. Of course, I'd be a rookie, so I'd have another coach there, I believe. Yeah, that's how Clovis did it. He had Matt there. Matt Galena. I got to get back in touch with Matt Galena. Anyway, love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning into the show. I am a storyteller among many other things. So when you tune into the show on any of these channels, I got 42 plus years of stories. And it's a pleasure to be in your guys' lives. I would like to consider Wyatt Preto now as my guardian angel for the rest of the broadcast. When somebody shows up with their name and not just by the live sign, it's always encouraging to me. And the live experience via Facebook is where I really got into it. Thanks to people like Bren Zen, the Emperor of Earth. Yeah, buddy. I love you as the Emperor of Earth. That's fucking deadly. His wicked clothing line, I really got to put in an order soon because I know he's struggling to get enough sales right now, but he's got his second fucking run of product done. I am so proud of him because that's one thing I've been waiting. My t-shirt company, clothing company is called Fukushima Survivor, the most ridiculously honest clothing company in history. And I haven't run any shirts yet. He's on his second fucking run. Bren Zen on Facebook. His company is called DAFUQ. We used to have a band called FU. What was it? Freaks United or Freaks Unlimited, which kind of broke up because of too much fucking drugs, but not from Bren. Bren was like the band leader, fucking mayhem leader. I owe Bren and a few other people like Grassy, what's his name? Fucking Grassy, whatever, fucking busker and Nelson. He'd come to jam. Anytime he came to jam nights at the Royal, it was like, oh, thank fucking God. Dylan. Is like, I think he's in Edmonton now. People like Dylan, people like Brenzen, and Hillary Reese on the fucking whole other ball. She's now a published author. And it's amazing, man. She's like Starhawk. She's actually from California,
COVID-19 hospitalizations
raising her
are
kids.
increasing
We met
as
them
health
at Tagum
officials fight
Beach
to
when
convince
Rachel
people
was
that the
about to
pandemic is
burst
still a
with rhythm in a
serious
couple
threat.
months.
CBS
They had
News
their
national
one-day-old
correspondent David
daughter.
Begnaud is in Sweden, Indiana,
Her
where
ex-husband's father, they co-parent really well. He's
Inside of
literally
those IVs
never shaved
is a
once in his
powerful
life.
weapon to fight against COVID-19.
One of the most
Monoclonal
chill,
antibodies,
hard-working,
lab
quiet,
proteins that help the
meditative
body
man
target
I've ever
and
had the
eliminate
pleasure of
COVID
meeting.
infection.
Hillary Reese
According to Dr.
was
Thomas
my
Collette, Chief
first
Medical Officer at
lady
St. Francis
friend
Medical
that
Center
I
in Monroe, Louisiana.
have had forever. She's
They
a
have become
Waldorf
the most
teacher,
effective
early
therapy
childhood
yet.
educator,
Has done a
and
great
has
job
two
of
wonderful
helping
daughters all in their
Iris
teen
make
years, just a
stay
bit
out of
younger,
the
or one older
The
and one
therapy is
younger than
becoming
my
more
daughter.
available
Who do we
at
got?
hospitals and clinics.
Oh my God, we got our first joiner here. We got Wyatt Pinto and some people on FP. We don't have any viewers on the YouTube yet. Who do we got? Verzillion. You're fucking kidding me. Verzillion. Are you joking with me? I'm in Vermilion and I call it Verzillion because my music name's always been Zimizoom. Who are you? Verzillion. You don't have a picture. It's good to see you on the show today. I just had a huge fucking beautiful day. They asked me, have you tried the THCA diamonds yet? Oh my God, I was trying to explain it. It's kind of like CBD, it's kind of like THC, but it's like mental clarity. Let's have another toke in a minute. So I got Wyatt Preto as my guardian angel for the show on FB. And I got my new friend, Verzillion. No way, man. What a crazy coincidence. Verzillion, how the fuck do you have the name Verzillion? Because I know there's Vermilion Lakes near Banff. Every time I Google Vermilion, Alberta, you always got to put in the Alberta because there's also Vermilion in, I think it's Montana, or it's not Idaho. It's like Montana or Wyoming or some shit. I'm way up by Edmonton, but every time on Google search, you got to be super fucking careful because it's like you're in America all of a sudden. You're in America all of a sudden. It's like, whoa, you really have to put Vermilion, 1LAB, Alberta, or you're going to be going like crossing the border by accident. There were some people after Shambhala, it was Google Maps and construction. They ended up at the border near Nelson or Vancouver on the way, ended up at the U.S. border, and this poor girl got thrown in fucking U.S. Customs with all their ecstasy and all this shit, and everybody did a GoFundMe. I'm like, you guys would never do a GoFundMe if it was a guy, though, that happened to. You girls are so fucking lucky. Anyway, we had some close calls at the border years ago. I had a little bit of fucking weed. My last time I tried to go to America, I forgot to double check my backpack and my one snowboard jacket. Fucking hell. I didn't get thrown in jail or anything, though. The American Border Patrol was super fucking nice to me. Trump was the fucking president. I said, yo, I like Trump. I actually like Biden now. I don't think he's a pedophile. I think he just really likes perfume and the smell of ladies. But with the masking and the pandemic, me and my ex Nikki, I gotta fucking find the edits, you guys. The Facebook show where she finished the folk album. She also did 2 crazy fucking rap songs about Joseph Biden and how we hoped he wasn't actually a pedophile and how we hoped that he was just sniffing and how we were happy that the masks slowed down his potential pedo nature. Oh my God. My ex Tornado, she is so fucking funny. We don't talk anymore for now, but we left it on a good note. Check out my Facebook. If you want to see Tornado Cakes, go over to my FB and find all the movies and videos we did over the last 2 years, 2, 3 albums, 5 albums of music, thousands of hours of videos on the FB. YouTube is huge. Please subscribe to my YouTube because I've got thousands and thousands of views and hits, but only 23 subscribers. And I want to get to that 1,000 subscribers, so that's my goal. If you ever use YouTube, find Zimizoom on YouTube. That's the easiest way to find me online is Zimizoom and Wasabi Collective. Wasabi spelled with, Wasabi Collective, the best band on earth. WASS, Wasabi Collective. Online. And Verzillion. What? How the fuck did you name yourself Verzillion? Let me know, bro, or DM me later, dude. So fucking, what a fucking coincidence, man. I'm in Vermilion, Alberta right now in my brand new house, 1912 I got for free off my real estate deal in Nelson, BC.
My children are going back to school. I'm fortunate that my children are of the age where they can get vaccinated. And I know some parents will say, well, my children don't have the vaccine. But the reality is, we can't keep our children.
Oh, man.
American Academy of Pediatrics, in just 3 weeks, the number of COVID cases in children the hospitalization rates remain low at only 2%.
Dude, I literally have your name spray painted on my house. I wrote Brazilian Zimizoom. Seriously.
4% of 16
That's the small. Yeah, bro. It's right by Lloydminster. I'm in and out of Lloydminster. Like, I pretty much live in Vermilion, Edmonton, and Lloydminster. I'm always going back and forth, and then I'm in and out of Saskatoon and in and out of BC all the time because my kids are in the Nelson and Rossland, BC area. And I'm a snowboard coach from Whitewater and Red Mountain and Big White near Kelowna. And also Whistler, Banff, Lake Louise. I've coached all over Canada almost. Not much in the prairies though, so this is my first chance. I almost worked up near Cold Lake last year. They were going to hire me at a resort called Kinnasoo Ridge, which has tons of terrain parks and shit. But it was third wave, and my lady was in college and working Monday to Friday, and I didn't want to be working Friday to Sunday and never see her. Because I was like, yo, we might not stay together forever. I want to be with you as much as possible for this, our first year in Alberta during the pandemic. We had a hard breakup, but then we ended up like telling each other we loved each other lots a couple months ago, and then set each other free. She's doing good. Anyway, that's the small. So how did you get your name Brazilian? And Brazilian, where do you live, bro? Are you even in Canada? Because a lot of people on Insta are coming in from America, and I just got all these brand new friends. Instagram, I have another account I don't have access to, but please find Zimizoom26. It's from 3 summers ago. I did a whole summer in Whistler with my coach at What a Country and Gabe. Free snowboard coaching all summer. We're hoping to be at Whistler Glacier all summer next year. If they're open, that would be from early June to early July. So put that on your calendar for next summer to be in Whistler for glacier season. That is the goal, and hopefully, fingers crossed with COVID and the melting glacier, hopefully they can run summer camp again next year where we all like to coach, and fucking it's amazing. At Whistler, you've got every sport under the sun, zip lines, peak to peak. Whistler's like my other home. Nelson and Whistler are my 2 homes in BC. But then we toured all over Tofino and Vancouver Island and Nanaimo, Victoria,
that is the oath,
California, all the way down to Santa Cruz, San Francisco, Santa Rosa, Sebastopol, fucking
is that my
up into Oregon, 4 Peaks Festival, Eugene,
governmental paralysis.
Ashland,
and that is just not an option for
Portland,
you, not an option for the state.
And up to Seattle, Tacoma,
former top aide Melissa DeRosa
Summer Meltdown Festival, fucking right. That was crazy. Darrington, Washington, Bellingham, Washington, the coolest small music city in America,
Lieutenant Governor
right on the ocean. We got to go to the tallest fucking building for free fucking dinner. Sunset. Unreal, man. People don't believe me when I tell them how much shit I've got to do free in my life by being in bands.
Must get their shots.
They're like, you don't make very much money.
Today I'm signing an executive order requiring
musicians
all
always
preschool through grade
reinvest.
12
We sold
school
thousands and thousands.
to be fully
We sell
vaccinated
1,000 CDs in a month or two on tour, and then, okay, we need another run of that CD while we're making the next CD, while we had T-shirts, hats, fucking all kinds of ladies, booty shorts. Eventually, we had fucking merch companies coming for us. I finally found my Toronto. I can't remember the name of the company. I'll have to look on the hoodie. Toronto merch we got absolutely amazing. I'll have to remember the name of that merchandise company. Your last name is actually Brazilian? That's fucked up. I didn't even know that's possible. Well, dude, it's great to meet you. Where do you? Is this a guy? I'm assuming you're a guy. Sorry, you don't have a picture. Are you a guy or girl, and or a 5-spirit or whatever? And where do you actually live? This is so cool. What do you like to do for fun, Brazilian? I'll check out your page later on. But I'm using all my devices right now.
Hopefully, this one won't be any different.
What a crazy fucking coincidence. Your last name's actually Brazilian. I'll show you later, man, when I feel like going outside, or I'll send you a picture or something. I have to get rid of the spray paint soon. I'm actually going to repaint the whole house out there, but I had all fucking week-long party for Nancy. It's called Nancy Fest. It's all over my Instagram. Check it out. I spray painted 3 vehicles in Lloyd and here, and I've been all over between Saskatchewan all the way to fucking Roslyn, BC in the last like 3 weeks. On tour, it's called Jimmy Shark Bite Loose and the Kindness of Strangers tour. This is my 2nd year. Last year was canceled because of the pandemic, but we actually, it never really got canceled. I just didn't call it a tour last year. I'm a male and live in the States. I just joined Instagram today near my first live page. I saw, no fucking way. Well, right on. Brazilian, welcome to Instagram. And please find my Zimizoom 26 page for all my snowboarding summer in Whistler. I love America. I had a bit of weed at the border, so they told me wait 5 years and then apply for a pardon. So maybe I can get back into America someday, but it's not looking good at this point. Long story. I don't know if I'll be able to go to America until we're all officially one country with Mexico, which is it's in the goals, but like COVID, it really took us for a fucking run. New World Order and all that shit and all the freaking whatever they call it now, the reset, grand reset, great reset. Well, I'm constantly resetting the great reset, just like you are. We're all resetting we are the great reset, right? We are the ones. We are the change we want to see in the world. We are the believers. We are the dream come true. My daughter's last name is Mountain Dream. But check out my daughter's art, online art, music. She'll draw you pictures. She's fucking actress. She's way more fucking talented than me. She's not even 18 yet, graduated. They've been wanting her at Vancouver Film School since she was like 14, 15. She's like, whatever, you guys aren't even cool enough for me. I love her so much. She's like, Dad, I don't want to spend 22 grand just on 1 year. She's like, we could do a lot with 22 grand. I'm like, you're a smart girl. So check out Rhythm Storm. I think it's Rhythm_Storm. She is way more fucking talented than me and has saved my life 1,000,000 times. So check out Rhythm_Storm for the best fucking fresh teenage art styles. And fucking, she doesn't even put her music out yet on that channel. But all summer music theater, and man, I just saw her perform 3 times in Roslyn. Changed my life forever. She's the best female singer of all time. I swear to God, my daughter is the best female singer of all time. She's only 17. She's been songwriting since she could speak. My son's 11 now, 11 and a half. He's been talking about gods and skiing fucking avalanches and shit since he could talk. It's like, whoa, bro. He's like, yeah, we were right up there, Dad. And it was a huge avalanche and nobody got hurt, but we all skied out the avalanche right up there. It's called fucking Cougar's Claw. It's the scariest looking line. I've never been up there. I've walked the ridge up there a couple times and it's fucking terrifying. My son, he must have been he's like reincarnated skier from Nelson, BC, man. I was like, holy fuck, who the hell are you? Who were you? So I have to figure out who my son was because he literally was telling me all about it. He told me about all the sounds like that. It was like, we had to ski down there. You had to ski down there. He's like, snowboarding's too easy for me, Dad. I skied all this stuff before. I'm like, well, who the fuck were you? You're like, he was only like 2 years old. So I was like, who the fuck of these the elders that I knew that passed away, reincarnated partially or fully in my son's body and did my old girlfriend from high school, Ashley, he's named after her. Is this a group reincarnation? I'm pretty fucking sure. It's so cool because one of her brothers ended up in Revelstoke. So Ashley's going to come to Revelstoke with me and meet his actual fucking uncle in real twin uncle.
I also want to provide an update on our global network of transit hubs.
The birds told
the United States wants to
the
sincerely
hawk came in the only time I ever went to Ashley Grace's Powell's gravesite. I was one of the funeral singers.
For their help in our efforts to safely
I went to her gravesite only once. Happened to run into her mother, and as we talked about Ashley, a huge fucking red-shouldered, red-tailed hawk flew in and landed right on the gravesite.
Other NATO allies in Afghanistan, and they are now continuing to support the Afghan people by collaborating.
So Ashley's partially reincarnated into my son Escher, and I'm sure she's partially reincarnated into. I think her one twin brother has kids, and the other one doesn't.
Friends and allies. and
One of
for
them's in
assisting
Rebby, one's in
temporary
fucking
transit
Ontario,
Afghans
Revelstoke. I took my daughter
The
there,
temporary
man.
transit
Closing
locations we have
day.
established in
It was like
US or
over
joint
3
bases in
fucking
Germany,
feet of
Italy, and
powder.
Spain have
Closing
the
day.
capacity to
Or
process
sorry,
at
over
least
2 feet of powder
15,000
closing day. We had just been
people
at
on a rolling
closing day at
basis,
Whitewater Resort where
significantly
it was
expanding our
52
ability to
fucking
facilitate the
centimeters of
relocation of US
overnight
citizens
snow.
and at-risk
And then
Afghans
this year I got one
and
snowboard day in at
the first
3,
flight
and it was
from
like
these
2.5,
European
3
transit sites
fucking
departed from Remscheid are
overnight
areas
dump.
in Germany
My
today.
Subaru,
We
no
are
fucking problem
Those
before the
governments who are
snowplows
agreeing to
go
allow
all over
the
the
United
city
States to host
for
at-risk
all-wheel
Afghans
drive
while we
fucking
make arrangements to
the
relocate
love
them to the
machine.
United States.
It's my own personal
Our
blowjob
embassies have been
cabin. That's
working
what they
with
call
the
them in
military
America.
and our
The
partners
Americans
in
that come in
countries
are like,
like
and they come to the ski
ensure
resorts.
safe transit
The
of passengers
ladies, even
of
guys,
our
they're like, "Where's the
destinations.
blowjob cabins?" I'm like,
With
"Are
that,
you fucking
with
serious?"
that
Like, that's what we
be
call
happy
them
to
in
take questions.
Colorado. You need to know where we can give our men fucking ski jays, blowjobs. It's fucking great. Mountain blowjobs are the best. If you've never gotten a fucking blowjob at a ski resort or in your car yet, the Road Hummer is classic. The ski jay, we call it, or the fucking, what else did we call it?
This system of
The snow blow.
can accommodate 15,000.
Oh man, I can't believe I haven't done it in a gondola yet. The gondola. We smoke weed in the gondola. It's called the gondola.
That's great.
Oh man, we fucking hotboxed the peak to peak so hard whenever we got the chance 3 years ago. That's when I fully got on Insta for it. So find Zimizoom 26 for the evidence. And my first at What a Country snowboard edit with a fucking Nirvana snowboard he didn't even know it was called Nirvana, and he picked the Nirvana song. Where the bad folks go when they die, they don't go to heaven where the angels fly. And the Unplugged album show,
the number of consular officers
changed
on
my
the
life. I have
ground
it on
doubled.
VHS.
We had sent additional.
Thank you, Brazilian.
consular
Okay, I
officers,
love you so
to
much.
Some of those initial transit sites.
And do you like weed? What kind of drugs do you like? I got friends that do all kinds of shit.
But the point I would make is that we
I
have
mostly do weed these days and a little bit of acid for my birthday. That was fun.
throughout this building and around the world.
Mushrooms are good, but some of them are super anxiety provoking, and other ones are really awesome. So I always start small with mushrooms.
I just want to know if they're still ramping up. And then
I haven't tried any Alberta mushrooms ever.
that we are approaching with the
Okay.
coast, and if there is no
Easy.
extension in this, you guys are going to have to start thinking,
Water.
and I want to know, have you already started thinking about drawing them?
Thanks for
back
tuning
out?
into America. I love Nirvana, bro.
Are going to leave, or if you guys think that maybe you can go back.
Seattle, I've been a bunch of times. I had the
You're
pleasure.
always evaluating,
One of my exes, Steph, she was super fucking nice to me when things were going good.
on the ground. We won't hesitate. to
She
do it.
literally
We did that with
surprised me.
last
We were
week.
in
That's why
Seattle. We saw
doubled,
Fish. I don't know if you know
presence
Fish, the
consular
American
officers
band,
on the
Grateful
ground.
Dead style
But
kind of
you're
Fish.
right. This is,
PHISH. We go on Fish tour whenever we can. Been seeing them since '99.
Is a
Near
finite
Detroit.
mission, with
Because I'm from Southern Ontario. We used to go to
whatever that
Detroit. We used to go to
is.
Grand Rapids. We used to go
So
to
of
New
course
York
you're working
State. All
very
my
closely
friends
with
did
the
all
US
the East
military,
Coast.
to,
My van broke down the
ensure
one year, so we
that
couldn't do
are,
the East Coast run.
working in lockstep with
But
them on
anyway,
their retrofit
fucking
plans,
deadly
so
times.
that
I
in
love
addition to
America.
what the
Is what I was
US
trying to
military
say.
needs
I
to
always
combat
go back
their
and forth
people.
between
Obviously,
Canadian news and
we will be
American
working
news
with
when
them
I feel like
to,
watching news.
ensure we have a timeline and to ensure that we
I have
bring back
stocks in
our
both
people
countries
right
now. I got into the stock market again.
Yesterday, and I-
Weed stocks, yay. Nirvana. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. My ex Steph, when we were in Seattle on one of our trips, surprised me. It was so fucking sweet. She knows I love Jimi Hendrix, and I spell Zimizoom based on Jimi Hendrix's spelling of Jimmy. I always spell Jimmy with Jimmy, but my name, since Mark Rawson of Yaki Mystic, he's on Instagram too, a real estate agent now. He named me Zimmy. So when we first got email, that's when it was Zimizoom. Zimmy like Jimmy and Zoom like Shroom. So that's, and the Z's, I've always loved names with Z's and X's. My grandmother was Zeta Jane Pope Lewis,
as you know,
by
Matt,
Jane,
there
Jim and Jane.
continues to be
But Zeta,
dialogue,
I met a lady at the fucking skate park the other day named Zeta. Couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, I think it's a biblical name or whatever, but I've never found it. It's actually a Greek name. I was like, then I gotta look into Greek translations of the Old Testament or whatever.
in
Or
intra-Afghan
biblical
discussions with
texts
the
that aren't in the
Taliban.
Bible.
We're not in a position to.
But anyway, I love
read those
America.
calls
Thanks
out.
for tuning in. And Nirvana.
This
Oh
has
yeah,
been
she
primarily
surprised me, and we
on the
went to
part
Jimi
of our
Hendrix's
team, our
grave
team
site.
on the
I
ground
played
in
my
Afghanistan,
music
to make sure
for
that
Jimi
the
Hendrix at his mausoleum. If you've never been, go to Seattle. It's south of Seattle. I can't quite remember what the city's called, but it's all like a suburb of Seattle. It's south of Seattle.
Those
And
talks.
go to Jimi Hendrix's
throughout this
mausoleum.
process,
It is the
even
most
when
fucking
it was
beautiful
taking
thing
place
ever. They
in
took his
Ohio,
handwritten
this
lyric
was a
notes with
process that the
scratches
United
out,
States,
and
together with
symbols
our
and shit,
international
and
partners,
etched
that
it
we
into
were
all the
supporting.
rocks, so you
We were
literally
never
can trace
part
your
of the intra-Afghan
finger
dialogue,
in
never
and
part
your
of the
guitar pick
intra-Afghan
in
negotiations.
his letters
We were
and his
facilitating them,
scratches.
we were
And,
supporting
oh
them,
my
we were
God! I
providing,
played this
what
beautiful
the
little
Afghan,
MIDI blue
what
guitar.
the Afghans
And
may have
everybody
needed
was
to
like just in
essentially
awe
make
to be
progress. But
actually
we were
at
not formally
Hendrix's
part of
fucking
those
mausoleum.
of that dialogue and those
Changed my
negotiations for a simple reason.
So
Because
cool.
both the United
So
States
cool.
and
Like,
our
I feel like
international
I'm
partners
American too,
concluded
North
that
American.
any
You know, I wish we all had one
outcome
passport with
needed to be
Canada,
Afghan-owned
America, and
Afghan-led.
Mexico. So
that
it's been in the works for a long
the
time,
case
but
today.
man,
So yes, we are
I don't know
absolutely
when that's gonna happen.
in contact with the Taliban.
But yeah, it used to be
through
Mexico
political
all the way
channels,
up to
diplomatic channels,
Seattle. Check out that
military
U.S.
channels
history.
as well.
And then
We are
Alaska used to be
absolutely
Russia.
continue
Newfoundland
contact,
used to be England.
with representatives of the Islamic Republic and stakeholders who are part of this ongoing dialogue.
Getting hungry.
And
What
what we're
should I
doing
eat?
now is doing all we can
How about a bomb
to
hit?
encourage a peaceful and orderly transition to an inclusive.
Your oh, we love Rush.
Support.
Okay, we love Rush, man, for sure. Your favorite Canadian band is Rush. Oh, let me turn around there for a second. You don't even know yet, bro. Check out the music studio. We play some drums for you.
This has been the message that representatives of the Islamic
Just
Republic,
adjust this tripod here.
Taliban officials have
Knocking
heard
my life
from the
apart.
international community, whether it's from
Check it out. I got
whether
5
it's from
drum kits in the house
whether
right
it's
now,
from
man.
113
Full on
countries,
music studio.
that came together at our
24
organization,
channel. Let's get a better
week ago
angle.
today to
You don't
press
have to
for
just
this
see my
area.
back.
So I'm going to leave it to them to
I
speak
gotta
to
keep
how
it
that
plugged in for the minute.
dialogue is going.
I want to do
But
some
I can
music
tell
for you guys. I got a lot new songs, but let's start with some drum therapy is what I call it, bro. Here you go. I love Rush.
An orderly transition.
Hold on, I gotta change the other fucking cameras, man. I'll do a good drum solo for you in alternate time signatures, just like Rush. Give me 1 sec. Thanks for tuning in, Brazilian. And I don't know if you're still there. Thanks again to Wyatt Preto.
Would it be better to die or to have events bullets and face the crowds again? One staff member, if they felt betrayed, that it was it undermined.
Is that gonna get me in the shot?
their loyalty. This is
Here we go.
embassy stuff.
Okay, I just gotta loosen up a little bit here. Gotta loosen up. I got so excited when you said Rush. That's crazy. Which one did we cover? We did Spirit of the Radio. Yeah, man, I'd have to hear it again. I've got too many songs in my head right now, but that's for you, Brazilian, because you love Rush. I hope you love Trailer Park Boys then too, man. sticks. They're here in the room. Here, check it out. Here they are. This is meant to be, bro. Look, I love oak sticks. I usually use ProMark 7A oak. This is Neil Peart Shira Kashi oak. They're slightly bigger than what I normally use. Neil Peart PW747W ProMark Pro. It's meant to be that you turned in. This is your first YouTube video. This is for you, man. Look, they're fresh sticks. I've only used them a couple times because they're a little bigger and louder than what I normally use. So I'm not going to try and play his style right now. I'm just going to let the sticks do the work. I don't know if you know about Neil Peart. When his father passed away, he disappeared on his motorcycle for like a year and a half. All over America. Nobody knew where he was. Because his father passed away. That's all he could do to cope. So and Neil Peart just died like maybe a year ago or whatever. I love you, Neil Peart. This is for you. And all these drums, bro, I'm going to set up the hugest Neil Peart kit ever. I'm just going to let the sticks do the work now because they're way different than what I'm used to. While you're here, bro, I don't know how much time you got, but I want to show you this from the front since this is your first YouTube video. Oops. And you are my new Brazilian friend. I'll show you the spray paint on my house, bro. I'll send you a picture before I have to paint over it. Maybe I'm trying to not have to paint over it, but it's got to look a lot nicer. Okay, again, I don't know what I'm going to play. Because these sticks are so fucking different, I have to just fully improvise with them because they're way, way different.
And let me get to that.
Oak is a lot stronger than hickory. Your average drumstick's gonna be made out of hickory, and that's why they break so much.
Just over a week old. It was a week.
You want a stick that barely ever fucking breaks? Get a Kashi oak, and then I saw maple the other day too. I've never tried. These are from Japan. I'm pretty sure the Shira Kashi oak comes from Japan.
When it comes to
I can do like 30 shows all in a row and maybe break one stick out of like 3-4 pairs. Every once in a while, you'll break one on the first night, and it's just like, okay, that one stick. But every other time, the tips don't come off, they don't chip off, they don't break your fucking skins. So Kashi oak, I'm not sponsored by them, but I like love them the best. I wish I was sponsored by them. Maybe I'll approach them at some point. Can I have an endorsement or a ProMark is my favorite sticks. I love you so much. Thank you. What a crazy coincidence. The Brazilian thing. I'll show you later on the pic. I'll send you a picture too. This studio is called Brazilian Zimizoom. We don't want to just make millions. We want to make wish I had the natural music talent like you. Well, I'm doing free lessons online too. So, what instruments do you like to play? I'm a vocal coach, beatboxing, keyboards, bass, drums, guitar. I know a little bit of saxophone. Mandolin, banjo, ukulele, I can help out with. You always start with the type of music you love. I'm live every day when I can be. Yeah, tune in all the time, man. And I've got about 40 Instagram videos, thousands of Facebook videos, a shit ton of YouTube. Wasabi Collective played at the Olympics. We met Damian Marley. He's on my snowboard, Bob Marley's son. And, oh yeah, man, check out Wasabi Collective with 2 S's. And Google Zimizoom and Google Wasabi Collective with 2 S's. And Jimmy Shark Bite Lewis on Facebook. But that one's 18 plus, so don't show that one to kids. There's tons of fucking nudity on that channel. So much fun. All the music today is dedicated to you, Brazilian, and your friends and family. So hungry, so thank you so much, and tell me when you're back later on. I'll keep it rolling as long as I can here, unless my new lady friend calls to do something else, but I think she's doing her own thing for the day. But yeah, much love Brazilian to you and your family. What a coincidence. And that was for Neil Peart with the Neil Peart sticks, man. I've only played those things a couple times. I think I was round 3 with those brand new sticks.
To American citizens, we have.
And stay tuned. I got 5 drum kits and electronics in the house
over
now.
the weekend, as I said, we have placed several thousand phone calls, not only to determine if we have in fact reached an American citizen who wants to leave, but to learn more about where that person is, if that person would be traveling with any family members, how we might be able to assist.
Up next, we'll play some acoustic folk music, you guys, on my brand new travel guitar, Beaver Creek. I love it. Built-in tuner. Fucking so sweet. Plays like a dream.
Yes, so we have multiple channels with
Alright, I'll
the
just
Taliban.
point this all to the
It is true
freaking
that Ambassador
guitar so you guys
Taliban
know what's coming
remains in
next.
Doha, as do some
Donor
members
goals.
of his team. Most of the political council has moved from Doha to Afghanistan, but there still are representatives of the Taliban in Doha, so that is a channel that is ongoing. We also have several State Department officials on the ground in Afghanistan who also are in touch with Taliban representatives on the diplomatic and political front. In addition to all of that, of course, the military has its own channel to discuss tactical.
All right, and a little sip of JD. I can't remember the names of my lady friend. Had 2 friends pass away this week, so a little sip for them and a little freaking drop onto the floor in their honor, Jamaican style. Just a wee drop. There you go.
Are already, going across.
Honor the fallen. Nancy too. She would have loved a fucking drink right now.
I appreciate that these are pretty delicate negotiations and you don't want to speak to the stick, but I'm just wondering, how you or the.
All right, time for some fresh bong water, you guys. Fresh it up. If you haven't changed your bong water yet today, fucking change it.
In the first instance, what we are doing now is mounting an ambitious and in many ways historically unprecedented airlift operation to bring as many individuals from Afghanistan to the United States or to third countries as a temporary waypoint. Again, the progress we've made in terms of how many individuals we are now able to bring to safety every day, I think tells the story of this department, of the Department of Defense, of our interagency partners, throwing everything we have.
That's going to end when the military mission ends. So
Well,
that's the
but
question.
what does not end when the military mission ends is our commitment to at-risk Afghans.
Exactly, so how do you
Well, let me make
bolster that commitment?
let me make a couple points. And again, I don't want to delve into hypotheticals as to what that end date might be or what the details of it might resemble. But let me make a couple points. One, the Taliban has agreed and committed to provide and to permit safe passage. Safe passage for, if you listen to their statements at least, to Americans, to third country nationals, into Afghans. This is the message that they have said publicly. This is the message that the United States and our closest allies and partners, in
Fresh
fact,
bong
more
water.
than half of the world's countries have signed on to, in terms of making clear to the Taliban that they have a responsibility to provide the safe passage, and that together we will hold them accountable if they do not. As with all Taliban commitments, we are focused on deeds, not words. What matters to us is the follow-through. What matters to us is the follow-through both now, before August 31st, and the follow-through after August 31st. Let me make another point. The Taliban has also said publicly that they want an Afghanistan that has a relationship with the rest of the world. They want to ensure that that Afghanistan, under a future Afghan government, is not the pariah that it would become in certain circumstances. The fact is that this cannot happen without a functioning airport, a functioning state, a functioning economy, a government that has some semblance of a relationship with the rest of the world needs a functioning commercial airport. We are in discussions with the Taliban on this very front. They have indicated to us in no uncertain terms that they seek to have a functioning commercial airport. So that is our hope and expectation, that there is a functioning commercial airport. What we know, coupled with that, is that these guarantees of safe passage, these commitments to safe passage, don't have an expiration date.
Nice.
So
Brazilian is
it certainly
fucking
stands to reason, and
following
we
me.
will
That is so
hold
cool.
the Taliban to this. The rest of the world will as well. That individuals who seek to leave after the U.S. military is gone will have an opportunity to do so. Our commitment to the Afghan people doesn't end in that sense. Our commitment to the Afghan people won't end in the sense that our humanitarian commitment will remain as well. Yes.
Holy moly, they're handling this like really well.
Into an airport that's run by a terrorist organization, as the U.S. considers it, and the UN. What can you tell us about your talks with the Taliban or with NATO, with Turkey, with anyone else about taking over the airport? And the UN has also called for an air bridge for humanitarian aid. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I can't go into private discussions, but what I can say, I can acknowledge that this has been a topic of discussion with the Taliban. It has been a topic of discussion with our allies. It has been a topic of discussion with many of our partners. There is actually agreement between and among all of these actors, of course, between the United States and our partners and allies, but also with the Taliban, that all of our interests would be served with a functioning airport.
Oh,
now,
it's getting hot here. I don't need to heat
commercial
on
flights are
anymore.
one thing. Charter flights are another. There are, as you've seen, when it comes to charter flights now, they have been able to remove and bring to safety thousands upon thousands of individuals. Look, we don't want to get ahead of things. Right now, we are focused on the evacuation operation that the United States government is running, and that the United States government will be running for as long as we're in a position to do so. Our point, however, is that the Taliban have made certain commitments. They have made statements the rest of the world has sent those very same clear messages to the Taliban. So there would seem to be some confluence of interest here. And it is certainly something that would be in our interest. It would be in many ways in the interest of the Taliban, which have indicated that as well. And it would certainly be in the interest of the Afghan people to see that outcome fulfilled. Yes, Russell.
With all due respect, how can this government trust what the Taliban says? It would appear that the Taliban is simply the latest in a long line of actors in other countries that will say what sounds appealing to us here in the West. And then once the West pulls out, not only its military, these forces then go on and do what they feel like doing, and the people are left wanting, in the best of circumstances. What is the U.S. actually prepared to do at this moment to make certain that the Taliban isn't following up on marking homes where Afghans who worked with the U.S. government had been living, and that they don't go back and actually kill their people? It seems as if the leaders are willing to say one thing, and they've given a message to their foot soldiers to do what they really intend to be doing, which is running the country in their vision, not in one that is going to be in good standing with the international community.
Well, I want to be very clear about one thing. We are not in any way trusting the Taliban. This is not about trust. This is about what's in our interests and also what's in the interests of the people of Afghanistan. And those two things are aligned. Right now, it is a fact that we are dealing with the Taliban on these issues, in part to make very clear where it is that the United States stands, where it is that the rest of the world stands. This is not about asking permission. This is not about establishing any sort of formal relations. This is about doing all we can to facilitate safe passage, to ensure that the Taliban know that any effort to impede the evacuation of
another
American
Coke is
citizens,
necessary,
to
man.
impede our operations, while this is up and running, would be met with a very swift and severe response. So that has been our message. That has been the message of the rest of the world. I can tell you that, and
my man Jimmy has disappeared. Oh, you're still there. I saw on the other camera that you're following me now. That's great. I'll follow you back later, dude. Put up some pictures and stuff that you like to do.
To have a functioning economy, to be able to provide for their people, to have.
I find Instagram is way more friendly than FB. So, and then I try to keep everything like teenager friendly on Instagram, where my Facebook is definitely 18 plus.
And by we, I
So
mean,
my daughter never goes on Facebook barely ever, but she's on Instagram. So anything I do on Instagram has to be like
more than
teenager friendly.
Countries, in at least one case. We've been very clear that those things would be
Built-in tuner?
quite difficult,
Yes,
if not
please.
impossible. If the Taliban do not live up to their basic commitments, if they deny the rights of their citizens, if they deprive more than half their population of their basic rights, if they commit the sort
I
of
wrote a Christmas song in the middle of the summer.
that
I've never even written a Christmas song.
take place over in Afghanistan.
Okay, these flies. There's only like 2 or 3 of you flies, but I'm getting the fucking fly swatter out soon. I warned you guys.
If the Taliban
Okay, I warned you.
choose that path.
You don't have much time. You fucking 2 or 3 flies. That's it.
We have
But I will get the fly swatter out. I found it, you guys. I found the fucking fly swatter. Don't make me use it. There's food over there. Stay off my fucking legs.
Durability. If they
Garbage.
want,
Go play with the garbage.
the tools
No
they
fucking
need
pets.
to be able to administer a country as
Distracting
large,
me.
a country as expansive as Afghanistan, what the United States and what
Brazilian, if you're still there, what state or city are you in, bro?
that will matter to
I'm not gonna come stalking you. I can't come to America right now.
It's interesting
Like I told you.
that you just said that we're not.
Wow, never had a guitar go this sharp.
Is that a justification for
There's a lot of weather fluctuations.
anyone, certainly at the Secretary's level, engaging with BOARDOM or whoever would be their foreign minister, that you have people who are lower on the food chain, as it were, engaging, talking, cajoling.
That's pretty good. Come for Christmas dinner, take me by the hand. You could be my lady, I'm inspired to be your man.
It's not about
Come for Christmas dinner, carrying Jesus' land. Magdalene, I love you. Take me by the hand. Take me by the hand. I think I love
our
you.
discussions with the Taliban have been operational. They have been tactical. They have been focused largely on our near-term operations and our near-term goals. In those near-term operations, in those near-term goals,
love is so true.
focus on what is going on and
take me to the river, baptize me by hand, dunk me in the water with the master hand. Take me to the river, baptize me off land. Magdalene, I love you. Take me by both hands, in the river again. I love you, my best friend. I
to be very clear about what would be unacceptable to us. We have done that publicly. It is true that over the course of the months, the Taliban have been that from private discussions that take place in Doha. But when it comes to the
sticks and stones may break my bones, sticks and stones may make me cry, but the only thing that'll make me lost is not seeing you and looking in your eyes. I love you, my best friend. 3 months, don't let it end. Baby, come back again. Baby, come back again. Christmas dinner, taking me by the hand. You could be my lady. I'd be honored to be your man. Come for Christmas dinner, carrying Jesus' man. Magdalene, I love you. In the river again, baptize me, my friend, my lady and empress, the Queen of Canada and my best friend. Best friend, my lady, I love you. I love you so true. I think I love you.
that person is not Afghanistan. That person is not in this building. That person sits in the office without orders.
I love you so true.
President Biden will have to decide.
Come for Christmas dinner, take me by the hand. You could be my lady, I'd be honored to be your man. Come for Christmas dinner, carrying Jesus' man. My Magdalene, I love you. Take me by the hand. Take me by the hand.
1 minute longer than is necessary. They're not going to get ahead of that time.
I know I love you. Without you, I'm blue. Together we were purple too, and purple too.
What I'm saying is that we have multiple
I send the violet flame for you
diplomatic channels,
to
political
heal
channels,
you up too.
we have discussed a whole
Please
host
don't
of
run away,
operational
blue.
issues. In the first
I know I
instance,
love
pretty
you.
squarely focused on our operations.
I know I love you.
To
Lonely baby,
our partners,
run away too.
there have been
Come for Christmas dinner, that'll give you lots of time to decide if you still love me, and you can let me make you mine. Come for Christmas dinner, I pray to see you again. You saved my life and brought me to my daughter. I owe you as a man. I owe you as a man. In this master plan, God write you this hand. I know I love you. Don't be a runaway, no. Don't be a runaway, come home, come home, come home. I love you. I know I love you. God brought me to you. Your love is so true. Thanks, you guys. That one's called Take Me to the River. Come for Christmas dinner. Oh, man. We might be I don't want to say that. I don't know what's going to happen. But I sure love this lady. Chloe Sweetie. I'm only telling you guys her nickname. I miss her like crazy right now. Fuck.
I'll make one point. The expectations that the United States and the rest of the world have
When you came into my life,
in terms of how any future government of Afghanistan would govern, would treat its people, would uphold or not the rights of its citizens, would protect the gains made by Afghanistan's women, girls, minorities over the years. That is something that is just important to us in Kabul at this very instance, as it is to what takes place much farther afield in places where the United States is not. So this is not confined to what is happening right now. It is also not confined to what happens going forward. We have been talking about the expectations.
Oh, yeah. I was going to have a bomb
the
here.
United States and the rest of the world. We've been
It's
talking
also
about
this Edmonton cotton candy.
that at least
It's a clean one. It's not the best cotton candy I've had, but it's well grown. It's clean. It's flushed well. It smells nice. Tastes good.
One criterion only, and that's their
Oh,
action.
yeah.
But just
Definitely
because
the
we are
cotton
talking
candy
about
is just it's
responsibility,
what I tell them
and
it was kind of like the
accountability
preview
going
version.
does not mean that we are
Vancouver
turning a
medical
blind eye
dispensaries have the craziest cotton candy ever. I'm sure the States
We
does
have a
too.
number of our tools at our disposal. The United States does.
Oh, I'm
When
exhausted
we
but
are working in tandem
exhilarated.
with the rest of the world, with the UN, we have a even greater number of tools. Some of these tools are broad. Some of these tools are narrow and fairly tailored. We will be prepared to apply whatever tool is necessary given what unfolds and given our assessments going forward of what has unfolded.
So what mechanism is there for detecting the potential atrocities that have been happening or are happening now?
Well, look, we have a full suite of sources of information. Some of them we can all see what is taking place on social media, what is captured by reporters on the ground. It is true that there are NGOs that remain active and operational in Afghanistan. They send back
that's
reports.
nice.
They make those reports.
Just a little bit of a
In fact,
fishy
we
smell, but it's
discussed
kind of nice.
one of those
Some
NGO
nutrients for
reports
this, like that
even
plant
here in
perfume.
recent days. We have other assets at our disposal too that
Pretty sweet,
will
though.
give us and our allies broad insight.
We're gonna
into
go for the
what is happening.
freaking sugar
So,
skulls, Mexican sugar
there will
skulls I
not
got
be
with Chloe.
impunity. There
Over in
will
Lloyd.
not be any
That
effort,
was
any
Smokers
willingness
Town,
on the part of the
but
United
I
States
met people at
to
20 after
turn
4,
a
so we
blind
start
eye.
going there now.
What
Like,
we
them
will
at skate
really
park, super
do
rad
is
guys.
to
They're like, oh no, we got a better selection, man. Come to 20 after 4. I was like, sick, man. I'm in senior shop all year, just haven't been there yet.
both going forward
So
and
going to the skate parks is fucking
to
sick. The other guy who's super rad fucking BMXer with freaking, I called him Goldilocks the other day. It was so fucking funny. I can't remember what he called me. It was hilarious. He's got a gold helmet. He does fucking 360s out of the fucking bowl on his BMX and all kinds of crazy shit. He's coaching this teenager who was doing a huge stair jump rail grind on his fucking bike.
So
I was
while
like,
we
whoa,
are
you guys.
prioritizing
These guys are
for
seriously
safe
talented.
relocation,
And
a
then
number
the other
of
guy,
things we of course
I was like,
talked
I
about
feel like
American
we've been,
citizens
I was like,
who
you've
are
been on
locally
East Coast,
engaged
New Brunswick. I said, are you been to
work
Evolve
with us
Festival, right? right? He's like, yeah. I was like, I recognize you. We totally hung out, or I've seen you. He's like, yeah, you could be right. Then I met this lady with her son who knows my shithead little cousin that's sort of missing right now. Missing in action, motherfucker. Owes me $125. Where the hell is he? I will drive to Kitchener-Waterloo for that $125 and a visit with the rest of the family. Fuck you, bro. I'll just show up. Be like, oh, where's Maurice again? Okay, I'll be there in like fucking 2-3 days. Hit the road. I don't have to be back here for court till September 15th. I got some time.
Tiered by priorities. Priority 1, referral status would be appropriate in some instances.
I think I love
the kinds of people you described. Priority 2, refugee status. This is a status that the Secretary announced.
Oh, I gotta figure out something to eat.
From this podium a few weeks ago.
Ooh, brownies. That's what. I got 2 brownies here to get me going. Sick. Those are so good. Can't go wrong with those. Come to Canada and you see the 2-bite brownies in the variety stores and grocery stores. They're so fucking good.
But I also don't want to leave you or anyone.
And all the women that like brownies, they always love those ones. If they ask for brownies and see those ones, they will be happy.
People of Afghanistan will endure long beyond August 31st. We will be in a position to continue our humanitarian support to the Afghan people, which over the course of years has been in the billions of dollars, $3.9 billion since 2002. We announced more than $250,000 in June alone. The president last week authorized $500 million additional dollars to help internally displaced persons in Afghanistan, refugees, and others who may be at risk. Humanitarian benefits will certainly continue
Thanks for that,
to
you
flow
guys.
to the people.
I'm just saying, bring us the
Afghanistan.
Afghani hash. All these refugees,
Also
fucking awesome.
Every
We
diplomatic
have so much more good hash in North America because of this refugee crisis. Bring it on.
Partners have to send a very clear signal and to hold accountable anyone, any force, any regime that would seek to
I need some more
deny
powerful fucking
the basic
weed, though.
rights
Shit's
of
mellow.
their citizens. We've been very
We
clear
should
about
go to the fucking value buds today, man. That'd be fun.
Can you give us a sense of the
Find
role
some seriously good flowers.
right now, what is doing in Qatar?
Their prices
So
are
Ambassador
amazing.
Khalilzad has been in Qatar for in Doha
Some
since
cream of the crop
earlier
type
this
shit.
month. As you know, he's gone to and from Doha over the course.
Oh, maybe I'll do that now.
several
That's a
months
great
now,
idea.
and
Yeah, thanks for tuning into the show, you guys. I'll broadcast again live in a little while. I'd like to thank Wyatt Crypto and Brazilian. Catch you later. Love ya.
And Troika and other groupings.
God
that
bless.
are,
Less stress.
relevant to this. In recent days, as I mentioned before, of course.
Love you guys on YouTube. Thank you.
Many of them have relocated from Doha to Afghanistan.